So my name is Amy Powers. I have been staging since 2007. I'm one of the longest stagers here. I think there's a couple other seasoned stagers on here. Krisztina as well. Jan Britt is probably the queen of the stager when it comes to longevity and having also taught it for many years at KSU. And then I know Catherine was doing this as well. When I first started, she was doing it. I started short-term rental design in 2018 as the Super Bowl was coming to Atlanta in 2019. I had some properties down near the stadium and some investors enticed me into turning those into short-term rentals for them. And I have been calling myself a short-term rental designer ever since. In 2020, I developed a course for designers and stagers in my field, my colleagues, my friends, my coworkers, if you will, in the industry to learn how to add this service to their business. And it is a very popular, and probably it is the original class. The other organizations have developed, but I did it first in 2020. And then this year, I developed a CE class, but every agent should know when working with a short-term rental buyer. And that is a 4-hour CE class. It is packed full of information. My training course for stagers and designers is 5 hours. And I think I have 83 slides in that. I got 93 slides in the CE class because we talk about a lot more than just design. We talk about working with investors that might need special loans that are unique to a short-term rental, not a traditional loan. We talk about insurance, security, technology, all those things that kind of tie into what you as an agent would want to know and learn to be a successful agent to that type of buyer. And then this past week, I was asked to be president of IHOS, which is the oldest and longest running international association for home stagers in America and around the world. And I accepted. So I am now president of IHOS, which is very exciting.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's a big deal, everybody. I know you're like, what the heck is that? But there are only really 3 staging organizations in the nation, 3 or 4, maybe. I don't know, maybe just 3. But the International Association of Home Staging Professionals is a biggie. That is actually international. So yes, home staging does take place over in Europe and other countries too. It is that popular as well. And we are just excited to have an Atlanta home stager be now the president. So that is a really big deal for us. So just FYI on that. Congratulations, Amy. That is definitely honorable for sure.
Thank you. Yes, I've been involved and been a leader and had positive experiences in those leadership roles in all 3 organizations. So I'm very inclusive. I'm all about, this is not just a job for 1 or 2. We can all glean a benefit from it in some capacity. So when it comes to planning the process of disruptive design, we have to dream big. Our dreams can become reality when we put it on paper and do the right measurements and make sure we have the right materials in place, and then we can install it. So that is the big picture process. So one thing I like to talk about every time I talk about short-term rental design, especially with a new audience, is you are no longer in the real estate industry. You are now in the hospitality industry. And that is one of the biggest things for you to know if you're a stager or you're thinking real estate, staging, getting a property ready for the market, versus the design of a short-term rental. You're no longer a stager. You're now a designer, in my personal opinion. And it is very important to understand that mindset change. Because with hospitality, everything is typically with short-term rentals is centered around the guest experience, how they enjoy their stay, the perception value is huge. You know, are the pictures online what they walk into when they walk in the door? So that's very important. So we have hospitality industry is the big umbrella, but we also have lodging. That is the smaller umbrella. And then it can also piggyback on travel and tourism, especially if it's a destination location. So that's important. One of my favorite findings when I was researching this a while back was that there's this word called xenia, also known as the sacred rule of hospitality, and it is defined as the generosity and courtesy shown to those who are far from home. And that, in my opinion, is the true mindset. If you're thinking hospitality, you're opening up your house, your space to allow other people to enjoy it and experience it in a positive way. So we want to remember that. And last year, with the statistics that they had, short-term rentals, you know, was more than a place to lay your head. It was an opportunity for creativity, creating that experience, creating a design that will be impressionable so that you are the competition and the competition is not beating you. So one of the most common ways to disrupt design right now is through embracing minimalism. If you think of a space where you're going to decompress, it's your vacation. Maybe as a realtor or a designer, you have limited time to take vacation because your job is very client driven. So when you have a client, you have to do what you have to do to take care of that. And I have found for me in my business that I am more busy when I know I'm about to go on vacation anyway. It's like the phone goes off the hook. Can I get a witness? So embrace minimalism, you know, allow the space to, you know, be very relaxing. It could be a monochromatic. Minimalism isn't just about not having things. It could be the colors, a very neutral, monochromatic space. It will evoke tranquility as well and is a really good design that has captured a lot of people. And you tend to see this more in luxury, high-end properties where they have large spaces and they can be creative, but you can have a minimalist space no matter the size. It could be a condo, it could be a tiny home, or it can be a luxury property. So experiment with unconventional layouts. You know, I know for me as a stager, we have our sofa, we have our side tables, we have our coffee table, you know, and we have maybe a side chair with a accent table and some lamps and some art. So we have pretty much almost the same elements in every house on repeat, maybe changing the style of the furniture and the colors to complement that demographic and architecture. But when it comes to short-term rentals, you can be a little bit more unique. You can have floor plans where, you know, you can have angles that are different than, you know, they say in staging, don't put things in corners, on catty corners, because I can eat up square footage. You can do things like that in short-term rental design. You can think outside the box, literally. You can change the rug out, so maybe it's an abstract rug, so you're not set in this boxy little space. So thinking about how you can capture unconventional layouts. Here's some examples. You know, we have this modern table and then very rustic style fireplace, and it's kind of an old farmhouse, but with the doors updated and some of the cabinetry and the furniture, you can make it a very unique space. It can be unconventional and how you're organizing everything. And I really love the cabinetry in this space. It's outside the box. It's fun, creative. It kind of, if you're looking at that, you're like, oh, I'd like to go see that in person, kind of thing. And those are the little tidbits that will attract your guests. Any questions so far?
Nope, looks like we're good.
What about the cupboards that you have on the left-hand side? Is there something
Mhm.
special about all the jars?
Oh, those are all the seasonings and spices.
Oh, okay.
So the experience for this property is like a chef experience where you can learn how to cook. You know, they have someone that can come out and teach you how to cook and things like that. So they have all the spices really neatly organized in that way.
Okay.
Incorporate your local culture. I think this is so important. I love seeing this. I love when I go work on properties, and I do this nationwide. I love going to the different locations. I just got back from Mears, Michigan, and they had sand dunes, huge sand dunes. It's a Jeepers paradise, if you want to be honest. I mean, I took some pictures, and there was Jeeps all along the edge of the sand dunes during the weekend. They come and ride the dunes. And it's a huge cultural experience, you know, so grabbing that. So we have a mural going up in the property with sand dunes, and there's jeepers on the ledge now. So we take that experience, we turn it into part of the design. Murals and artistic artwork, things like that, are a very big part, a way to incorporate culture. It could be in the throw pillows. It could be like in Charleston, they have the basket weavers. You could have baskets in the property. These are things that communicate in a positive way, things that are unique to that location and that can attract people in as well. So sustainable design is very important part of working with your short-term rental. I have clients who that is utmost important. So I've learned the sustainable flooring, sustainable linens and bedding and things like that. Using organics is very important. They call it biolithic design, where you're implementing organics. You could have a living wall where you have plants growing on the wall through pots and through things like that. And it is very attractive, especially to the younger demographics who are very Instagram friendly and they want to take pictures of all that kind of stuff. That's like their mindset. They want to be environmentally friendly, eco-friendly, and they want to communicate that. That's part of their message. So that's important as well. Okay, immersive experiences. This is creating, you know, those experiences where if you live on the water, do you provide boats of some kind? Do you provide, you know, if you have a pool, floats, a really nice outdoor space? What can you do to elevate it, to raise the bar? If you have a space of maybe it's a condo, it's a busy city, and maybe it's a rainy time of the year, do you have something that will engage people who may want to stay in, like the virtual reality games online are very popular. That's a fun way to do it. You can do the virtual tours. Do you know that? You can like be in a city and do virtual tours of that city as well, even if you can't go outside because of the weather and things like that. So glamping is huge one too. I just did a blog with a woman who did a glamping. It's called Glamorous Camp, and it's a tent that has been like really glamped up. It's not your traditional tent. It has a real bed in it, real furniture, and exterior island with real cooking, a real bathroom, not connected into the tent, but on the outside of the tent, and it's really cool. So those kinds of things are immersive experiences where you're being part of the elements, you're enjoying everything in the space, and it's just an opportunity for creativity. social spaces, incorporating those communal areas where guests are able to interact with one another. It could be a really cool outdoor rooftop deck experience where you have your garden, you have a living area, you might even have one of those fire pits that have the flame that's not actual fire, but it's a gas that lights, and it's really cool and beautiful. That is a really cool aspect. If you have a traditional property, how can you do that? You can add even glamping into the back of a property. That huge fire pit can go anywhere if you have a backyard. So things like that. Making sure that you also have areas for people to work, because remote workers go anywhere, and they are looking for really cool spaces to travel and experience life as they're working as well. Any questions so far? I know there's a couple of chats.
I have one. Are you the one that chooses the fire pit or the outdoor items that sound so wonderful?
I do.
Okay, so that's part of the pack.
If I'm doing the design. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I was just wondering, that sounds really good. So you really can make the decisions on what the activities could be as part of your package. Is that correct?
Yes, I do engage them and see what their budget is, and I'm very creative. I'm a visionary. If you know me, you know that about me, that I'm very right brain. I can see outside the box very easily, and I will bring those ideas to the table. And sometimes people have their own ideas. They've researched it, or they've had their own experiences abroad, and they want to incorporate it as well. So we can work together and make that happen.
Thank you.
Through the right resources.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Technology is one of the best ways to incorporate disruptive design. I know people might be scared of like Alexa and Google, but I love those. I love going to properties where they have those, because I have them in my house and I use them all the time, all day, every day. You can have the smart home, you have the smart lock, you have that security, knowing that you're the only one who has access to that property at that time. If you're the guest, you can, as an owner, you can control the temperature, but you can also set it to whatever the guest wants and make sure that the house is ready and inviting when they enter the property. So that's really important way to extend hospitality in a unique way, where, especially if you're in a really hot climate, they don't want to walk into a stifling property and have to wait 30 minutes to an hour after bringing in all their luggage and all that to be able to cool down, or vice versa. If it's in a winter property, they want to be warm when they're coming inside. So that's important as well. Outdoor connectivity is very important. You want to have spaces that connect very well. These large doors are folding doors. They can open out, they can open in, they can shut so that it's, enclosed, but it's also having that ability to have that fluidity between indoor and outdoor spaces. And spaces like where you have really nice weather around the beach, certain times of year in the mountains, having that kind of airflow and that connectivity. If you have a hot tub to the fireplace, to a kitchen area, is just very inviting, in my opinion. It creates a really wonderful experience. And it's a very high-end look too. So you're gonna connect to people that have the desire to have that luxury lifestyle in the vacation space. How are we doing?
Good.
Fantastic.
I'm almost done with this, actually. We're pretty close.
Oh, no
Um,
worries. We're all good.
so we'll have a lot of time for questions, but I'm not done, so you don't have to worry about that yet.
Oh, no worries.
I can answer more questions about the short-term rental versus real estate staging as well. So customization, flexibility, and adaptability I have found to be very important when working with short-term rental properties. You want to offer guests the ability to customize your space a little bit. This sofa right here, I love this sofa, and it's a modular sofa. So the setup that it is right now in this, it's actually a queen bed. And it's actually very comfortable because I've slept on it. And we can move it to a U-shaped sectional. We can add more, seating to the end so it has an extension. It's very guest friendly. It can be moved around. These ottoman seating right here can be used as a coffee table or ottomans for extra seating in other areas. And so having that kind of space where you have some fluidity, maybe instead of just having a typical desk, maybe a desk on wheels that can be moved to around to other areas where someone may want to work versus in a fixed location. Things like that can be very customizable and flexible. The movable walls, where if you're in a condo or some kind of flat where it might be an open floor concept, having some kind of movable wall that could also double as a closet, things like that. Very nice feature as well. Any questions about this? Any ideas you want to share to expound on it?
Great tip about the Nest system or Alexa. We are securing at STR in St. Simons, and that is a great idea for not only controlling the systems remotely, but ensuring the property is comfortable prior. That's a biggie right there. Comfortable prior to the guests coming. That's what's great about having those systems in place. Would love more tips on making the space comfortable and things guests really love, specifically how to score great. Are those things that will help you score the better reviews on the Airbnb? That's a good one. That's good marketing right there.
Yes, we can. I'll talk about that in just a sec when we get through this real fast. I think we're at the end. So yeah, perfect timing.
And where maybe recommend some of the furniture items that you purchase, maybe some resources.
Well, I'll tell you how I purchase items instead of what, because it always varies depending on the type of property. But I look at the reviews. I have my different sites that I recommend. Hold on. I know you're going to ask me what those sites are. So let me stop sharing the screen real fast, and I'm going to go get my other sites. You
clicked out of your screen, so you can go back and share the screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to my web.
No worries. No worries.
Because I know they're going to ask me what those sites are, so I'm going to get the link for them because it'll be way easier to tell them once they have the link.
That's in our last video too, that we talked about that as well.
Okay, so the first source I use is Host GPO.
GPO?
There's the link. Hostgpo.com. There's a link right there. And I'm going to share my screen and share that with you. Hold on a second. We'll make this interactive. Okay, so this is Host GPO. It is a buyer group specifically for short-term rental owners and designers. And I love their linens. I use their standard textile linens, and I love, you can order a bed box. They're not inexpensive. They are more expensive than if you were to go to Amazon, but what I love about them is they're commercial grade quality. Never had any complaints. They have 3 tiers. They have a basic, a standard, and a luxury. So obviously the basic and standard is going to be less expensive than the luxury. And you can put in the number of beds you have, and it will automatically calculate what you need for that. Let's say we have 2 queens, 2 kings, and that's it. So it'll take you, it'll ask me if I want to do a bath box, which is obviously going to be the linens. So I say I have 3 bathrooms, and let's say I can sleep 10. Wait, I said no, 8 because I said 2 for 6, yes. So what this will do is this will come over here, and this is how many towels. This is 2 sets of towels per person, and you can add more or less. And then you're going to get the bath mats. You're going to get robes if you want them. The makeup washcloths also is part of that. And you can modify any of this. If this is not what you want, like I'm going to get my own bath mats, you know, we don't need 16, you know, robes. I usually do 2 for the master. If there's a double master, I'll do 4. And then the sheeting, I actually use king flats only, so I always go in and modify the sheeting to that. And I only do king pillows, so I only need king pillowcases as well. So I do modify that. But this will definitely, you know, it's not cheap. Like I said, this is a luxury. This is almost $5,000 worth of bedding and towels. But the good news, again, it's commercial. It's the wear and tear on it is going to be phenomenal. It's going to take the heat. And if you ever do need to replace it, you will get the same exact product that you had last time. You're not going to have to worry about like Amazon being out of the towel that you ordered last time. So it's completely different. So you always have the same product, and it looks very consistent. And for a luxury brand, if that's your type of property, you definitely want to keep that in mind. And for a luxury property, this is not expensive if you're doing luxury. But you can also do furniture. They have all these relationships with these furniture companies. You probably are familiar with some of them. You can get, you know, your kitchenware, rugs. They have these as well. This is new. This is an outdoor game company that does outdoor games as well as customizable things for your property, which is really cool. Mattresses. You have all these options, amenities. So here you can get your shampoos and your lotions and things like that for the bathroom. So you always have the same product as well. These are going to be quality products. Oh, this is the yard game one I'm talking about. I'm sorry. You have your Outdoor Connect 4, your oversized, what is this called, Jenga? And these other games, you can customize your cornhole as well. And these are some more outdoor activity kind of things, which these can be out of the box experiences for your guest as well. You know, especially if you have a good yard that has a nice environment for that. Did I do that already? Yeah. And supplies and security. So you can get your technology here for your doors, for door security, things like that. I've started using Backdrop. I've gotten the samples from Backdrop. They're a paint company. They are eco-friendly as well. And a lot of my clients love using these products. There's not as many colors, that they're not like going crazy looking at a whole bunch of colors. And as a designer, you can get access to their, you know, to their fan. They also do wall covering, wallpaper. So you can get that. Wall coverings are great if you don't want to do a mural. So the colors are, it's not a huge, like Sherwin-Williams has like a bazillion colors. And I love Sherwin-Williams. I'm not knocking Sherwin-Williams at all. But if you want to be a part of the buyers group, you can get some really good discounts with that, 50% on paint. And these are other services that are going to be very specific to your short-term rental. These can be a way for you to capture your guest information through their Wi-Fi so that you can direct book to them in the future and save them some fees and things like that. Online banking that's specific to short-term rental. Oh, Mount is really cool. So if you have those boats and you have those things, that you have bicycles or a three-wheeler, or if you're in the dunes, you can even offer a four-wheeler. You know, if you have those things, you have the ability to rent them through this company, and they will also help with the insurance as well. So that's really nice. Another company I like to use, and it's called Minoan. Have you heard of Minoan?
Minoan.
Yes, I'll give you a link because that's not the website. Let me, oh, what?
Oh, that said Minoan Experience or something.
Yeah. Okay, I'm about to say. So, let me give you the link. I'm going to give you my referral link. This is also another buyers group for short-term rental companies as well. So you have all these huge brands, you know, that are out there. You can get 40% off of this, and they have all the soaps as well. I use Wayfair the most on here as well. It's one of my favorites.
Okay.
And if you're working with Wayfair a lot too, get yourself a professional account and work with a rep, directly with a rep, and they will protect you so nicely. They will send things to you that might be damaged like super fast. You can even say, hey, I have all these items in my cart. Can you look at them and see if you can get more discount? And they usually give me, you know, I just did one where I'm already getting really good pricing at $13,000, and they brought it down to $11,000. So that was pretty significant. So. Oh, Kristina's writing all those notes.
Yeah, I'm just relaying because I found out experience.com. That's the website there, and open up professional account. Yeah, I'm like the note taker, putting everything, the notes in the chat box.
Yeah, here's my link.
Get a link to the to this webinar. This is not something that will be out there publicly, but you know, definitely those people that attended today will get a copy of the link to the webinar. I'll send that to you, so you guys have it, and Amy can have it. You can post it on your website.
So one thing I do too, when we're talking about things that I purchased, I use design files for all my properties, and I can go in and edit a design, and then as I'm purchasing or looking at things to add, I have my library, and I have all these things that I've looked at for different properties that I've considered using and whatnot. And, you know, I can punch in art, and then all my art is going to pop up that I want to use. And you can see there's all different, there's minimalistic, there's, you know, golf community, lake communities, all different kinds, vintage or modern, beach, mountain properties. And I can collect them over the course of time. So I really like that too. Do you want me to share a link with you on that as well?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's design
And
file.
you can,
C-O, not C-O-M.
I'm gonna, yeah, I'll send you my referral link too, so you can
Oh, nice.
get an extra discount when you. So I love it too, because my clients are going to see it. And, you know, let's see, they're looking at this right here. And this is a lodge I'm going to be doing in the next 2 weeks in Indiana. And so they can see, you know, everything, the pricing, where to purchase it from, you know, things like that. And then they can click shop it. I'm usually doing the buying, but if I have a client, well, I think that didn't work because that lamp is out of stock and I've actually replaced it. Bad example. I'll go to this one. It takes you directly to the piece and they can purchase it if it's a DIY and they're wanting to do everything themselves, but they just need help designing it. So that's how that works. But if I'm doing the design and everything, I do all the purchasing. That way I can monitor deliveries, which is complicated. It's its own monster.
On the host GPO and that other website, you have to buy like a membership.
Yes. Minoan, I don't think I had to buy a membership. And then the host GPO, they have a very generous like window to try it. I think it was like 3 months. So I mean, I'm using them all the time, so I did purchase it.
Is there a referral code for the Minoan? Did you?
Yes.
Somebody was asking.
Here's a link. I don't know if it's a code. I can double check. 1 second.
You just put a link in the chat box there. So just trying to look at the other question that came up. How much does it cost to get access to host GPO, or is there a monthly membership fee for the website?
It was annual.
Annual, okay.
And I think let me, I don't want to tell you the wrong answer. Membership. I paid $240 for a year.
Is there different membership levels or just one time?
There are different membership levels, and it's based on how many properties you have. But I mean, I'm a designer, and so I don't need it for personal properties. So I just contacted my rep and told them the situation, and they modified it for me.
Good to contact.
So I wouldn't have, you know, because it looks like I'll have like 100 properties, but I don't have any. So, I mean, I have 2, but I don't need them anymore for that. So how short-term rental is different than real estate staging is, in real estate staging, you're designing a property for a buyer to look at it, obviously, and you want them to feel like, get a better sense of the space then the stuff, the staging and so forth is meant to enhance the space, not take away from it. Short-term rental design, everything is meant to enhance the space. The mural, the art, the flooring, everything is meant to be a part of the experience. So you can have more things in a short-term rental versus how you would possibly do it as staging. Well, I'm trying to pull up my PowerPoint where I actually talk about that. Can't find it on my PowerPoints right now. Short-term rental also is going to be permanent, and I think you should also purchase the items fresh instead of renting them from a third party. The ownership pays for itself within the first quarter or second quarter versus renting them. You're going to keep just paying that over and over again. And, you know, in staging, it's temporary. The furniture quality is going to be very different than how it would be if you're short-term rental. Durability is critical. It's the most important. So when I'm looking for things, I'm looking at the body weight it holds. I'm looking at the fabric density. Is it a hard surface or fabric surface? And if it's fabric, what is the wear and tear going to be like on that? I try to buy products that are commercial friendly. Wayfair even has the ability to kind of qualify that for you as well. Commercial versus residential, which you're going to have more wear and tear with a short-term rental than typical residential. And you're going to have more liability at your hands as well. So I'm always thinking about liability as well. How are the things that I'm putting into the property going to protect the owner from guests getting hurt or breaking something and then having to replace it?
Are you back on the presentation again or no?
I'm not back on it. I
Okay.
couldn't find it.
You were sharing screen. The other question we have is how and where do you market your services? Must be a stager that's asking about short-term rental marketing and
So I talk about that in my class, but one of the things that I do is when I first started, I was involved member of my local real estate investors association. And the majority of my initial clients were my investors that I had those relationships with. So I started marketing to the people that I knew in my area. And that led to me being a part of other organization groups that mentor now. I'm in a group where my ideal client is a doctor because I'm in a networking group that feeds out short-term rental design to them. They're an exclusive group with that very specific niche of medical doctors, and they are learning how to purchase short-term rentals of their own for passive income and also for tax breaks. There's a lot of tax breaks that are involved if you have that type of business. You can almost not have to pay any taxes if you have real estate, especially commercial real estate, which is what a short-term rental is as well. So connecting to who you know is your number one way to grow your business if you're doing short-term rental design. And then word of mouth happens right after that. I got a call today from a gentleman in Florida, said a friend referred me to you and I have 2 properties in South Florida. I'm like, I will call you right after my meeting, I promise. So I'm ready to go to South Florida.
Well, there's probably a lot of STRs down there for sure, especially.
I'm sure there are.
I'd love to invest in one myself.
So hopefully y'all gleaned some really good ideas today on some disruptive design, how to keep yourself creative when it comes to your short-term rental design, one of my favorite, I'm gonna see if I can pull this up on Instagram. I didn't design this, so I don't know if I should be sharing it, but it is one of my favorite examples of outside the box. It's a theme property where they have ice cream. They do ice cream theme and candy themes, and it's so cute. It's unique. Definitely not for every person. Let me see if I can pull it up. They have a post on here every day, so I know I can. Look again. Having an Instagram account for your property too is huge. Using that as marketing, it'll allow people to actually market for you. If you can, they can hashtag your business or your short-term rental. Some of my best clients have the best Instagrams, and they're booked all the time because they're so creative in how they do that.
Outside of Wayfair, are there certain vendors, retailers that you would recommend as great quality and cost? We've been using Amazon a lot, but hard to coordinate all the different delivery.
I actually do use Amazon quite a bit myself too, especially for some of the smaller items in the kitchen things. I just make sure of the quality, and I use different vendors on the host GPTO. Wayfair's one of my top ones as well. And then depending on the client and the how luxury it is, I might use some really higher end furniture companies. And when I do that, I don't do every piece is going to be super expensive, but I might have a set of chairs that are more expensive, or the frame might be a little bit more expensive. So I kind of cut and paste between expensive and less expensive. I cannot believe I cannot find this.
Yeah, deliveries are tough, because even at the staging business, we order things and I'm like, okay, I know the Amazon's going to come some particularly on time, but Wayfair, sometimes it says it'll be there Tuesday, and sometimes it doesn't come up till the next day, or you get half the package. You're just going to have to keep, unfortunately, dealing with that type, because I don't think there's going to be a happy medium where you can just get it all in one lump and it gets dropped off on the same day. So yeah, the deliveries are still be tricky for all of us.
Question too.
Yeah.
You first go for the airplane ride to go to the different state. Is that a special consultation fee, or will that be automatically part of the package before you even go?
It's how I charge for travel.
Yeah, I guess basically.
Is what you're asking?
Yeah.
Typically, I use design files questionnaire that I created for myself. That is my initial consultation, and I have the guest or the owner fills it out completely, and then I go in and review it, come up with another set of questions to kind of qualify it a little bit more. And I don't do anything without charging first. So yes, my initial consultation is how much it would cost for me to design whatever they want me to design. So if they're not ready to hire me, then I don't do any of the other stuff until they're ready. And then I do charge for travel. I also charge for installation. I can do bathroom design. All that's going to be different. Outdoor design is going to be a little different than interior. So.
Okay.
Any other questions in the chat box for everybody? There is going to be another short-term rental webinar I'll be doing. We're going to take a break in July because everybody's going on vacation. Last minute vacations will probably happen before school starts. I can't believe school's going to start soon, back in August. But I'll do another short-term rental webinar coming up in August. And then, Amy, do you have a STR class coming up at all for real estate agents or stagers?
For agents, I was just want to say I haven't scheduled any because I've really been so busy.
I know.
But
Maybe in the fall?
if you are interested in taking it, or maybe your brokerage hosting it, feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my email on here one more time. It's hello@vacationrentalabox.com. And also that's my website, vacationrentalabox.com. And feel free to reach out to me. I do want to put some more on the calendar. I think I'll probably start back up also in August.
Okay, that sounds
and
good.
Get that
I'd
back
be happy
over.
to help you out with that too, by the way, as we did last time.
Yeah.
Also, I have home staging CE class coming up also in July, August. There'll be one every month. Paint class coming up. We talk about Sherwin-Williams paint a little bit in that, just learning about the basics of paint, but more short-term rental webinars. We'll probably do another one with Amy too in the fall as well. I've got one with Barbara coming up in August, and kind of go back and forth a little bit. And if you guys want to follow or email Amy, you have more questions, please touch base with her. She doesn't mind helping out. And even if you're a stager thinking about adding this service as well, Amy is your go-to. That's why I know nothing about short-term rentals. That's not my thing.
You know a lot because you've been to many of our
Well,
things. You know a lot.
And this is recorded again. Everybody will get a copy of the recording a little bit. Give me a day or two to kind of chop it a little bit and set it up and give you a link to go view it on Vimeo. But also Amy will get a copy of it as well and can do what she would like with that. We'll probably put it up on our websites eventually here or there or as a blog. But thank you guys for joining us today. And
can I answer one more question?
Yep.
Someone asked, do I have any assistants? And yes, I have the world's best assistant and group. He lives in Dallas, so we travel together. We usually meet at the property. He usually can go a day or two ahead of me and start putting things together and whatnot. I just send him my design boards like you saw earlier on the website, and he puts everything in the right rooms. And if we need more than him, he'll bring his brother, or we'll hire someone there on site through a local hiring service. And then I travel up. I also have another designer on my team that I'm training right now, and she will be helping as well.
Awesome.
Thanks.
If you need some extra hand or another helper, let me know. I've got a friend that's looking for some work.
Okay.
He used to be in the TV entertainment industry and the movies, and they're partially on strike, but also the movies here in Atlanta have caught up already, like with COVID. But she's helping me out with some D stages right now, but she's one of those, you give her a layout of a plan and how you want it laid out and everything, and she'll go directly and do it for you. She's
Nice.
Stuff like that. So if you need an extra hand, either here locally, she might travel, I don't know, but she is looking for some extra work, and she's really good in detail, and she shows up on time and everything. But she touched base with me, and like I said, today she's helping out with the D stage just to, make some extra cash. But so let me know, because there are some stagers that did contact me for work. I've got like a handful of people that are looking for design work.
Okay.
Let me know.
Yeah.
CE class, you and I definitely need to do your CE class together in the fall. And Jan,
Yeah.
and to you too, actually, because I'd love to meet up with you sometime and collaborate a little bit as well. I know you teach, don't you? Are you still teaching classes over at Gwinnett Technical College or Kennesaw? Kennesaw, right?
Yeah, Kennesaw. Thank you. I've been there 24 years and still going.
I know. I've been actually with Leanne Culpepper. Don't know if you know her, but she's been teaching the continuing education courses at Emory University, and I've been actually doing a two-hour series as part of that course with her. She lets me talk about staging for 2 hours to her design team, And so I'm actually at Emory continuing education.
Good for you. Congratulations.
You know, we did it 2 times this spring and had a really good turnout. She had 30 people in one class, about 15 in another, and then it'll start back up in the fall.
Okay.
So if that's something of interest or whatever, or if anything, you know, fill in, or I'm kind of open for stuff like that. But yeah, I'd love to have lunch or get together with you.
Yeah, let's talk. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to meet you, talk to you, and
I know, that's what everybody keeps saying. Like, I'm just so
time.
busy, and I've been
Okay.
gradually taking people out to lunch. Amy, if I had a couple lunches, I'm gonna try to get together. I see Barbara, I see a lot of the other stagers. I met with some of the younger stagers that, and have had a breakfast or lunch with them, and just to see what they're up to.
You'll be at the Reaper meeting tomorrow, Jan. Are
Yeah,
you going to that?
I'll be there speaking
Yes.
tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it too. And Amy has been wonderful, smart woman. Both
Yeah,
of you.
Amy is awesome. Amy,
She's really smart. So are you. But I am really looking forward to talking to both of you. And I also want to tell you about my courses on for ladies getting into the design business, more detail of how to do it, you know, to make it fast and easy for them.
yeah. Well, the Leanne has been great because we do it on Zoom, and she really has been training me, and so I have like a whole new presentation I had to put together, and they love to see pictures and before and after design, and so it's been a really interesting experience because I'm talking to designers, not real estate agents, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, I actually get a check in the mail from Emory, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. I've never, but kudos to teachers because it is hard. It's not easy. And you know, you have to keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking, you know, every little bit, you know, to make sure that you can still keep the attention span too, because it's
Keep it up. Yeah, keeping it up to date too.
right. That too. Yeah,
That's
I do that all the time with my CE class. Of course, I refresh my photos and keep updating before and afters. But so Amy, where are you off to this week, or what's on your? And all these people are still hanging out with us. You're fine to hang out with us and hear about stage.
I'm doing a huge lot in Monrovia, Indiana, which is outside Indianapolis.
Are you taking video and pictures? You're going to put like a big together.
I will be. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited, and it's the first phase too. The second phase is we're doing tiny homes, like a cul-de-sac of tiny homes.
Yeah.
We're going to do tree house.
Wow.
Experience, you know, for that, and then also there's a lot of horse stables. So we're converting one into like if it's an event destination too. So if it's a wedding, like the stables could be for all the groomsmen. Like each stall is the groomsmen's room, and then the upstairs is a shared kitchen, living room, bathrooms, and so that's going to be fun. And then I talked them into putting a helicopter pad in because, you know, when they have the Indianapolis 500, all those executives, they're going to want to stay at this place. It's going to be high-end luxury, and it's like a few minutes from the airport. So take a helicopter on over and stay here. And it's going to be very posh, very posh. It's 80 acres.
Wow. Good job.
Yeah, that's awesome. I saw some of the design stuff, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. That's a biggie. So that's probably
the design board that I showed y'all is the living room.
Nice. Yeah, I need to learn more about the investment side of it, or how to get. I don't know how. I need to pick your brain on that. I'd like to be like an investor or something like that. I don't have a lot of, but I mean, I do have some.
Hey, I have people who are always looking for investors to join them.
So yeah.
So I think probably connect you to some people for sure.
Well, I bet you could.
Yeah. I think Barbara could too, probably, but she's probably more expensive though. I don't know if I can afford but we'll see. All righty. Well, I guess I'll see actually you and Jan tomorrow, actually, right?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yes.
Alrighty, well,
I'll be there. I'll be there, Jan.
I'll bring in
I'll
lunch
see you too.
and we'll have just make fun and just do a little brainstorming, marketing session and kind of make it goal setting. And I was telling Amy, Jan, that I'm just gonna kind of wing it and see how, I don't know, just have people kind of talk out loud and give their own ideas, but also, you know, like I said, set some goals themselves. So I'm gonna give people homework to do. So I'm gonna play my instructor role. So we're going to have it all in a little U shape too. So we're not classroom style. We'll make it fun so we can see each other, interact, and have it more like, you know, a good little
A mastermind.
yeah, mastermind-ish kind of setting, and have some lunch. I'm going to do some fruit, some lunch, some cookies, and tea and waters and chips and things, and you know, so people could stay after a little, want to chit chat and whatever. But ADAC, Atlanta Decorative Arts Center, is really super nice. They let me do my classes there and they set it up perfectly for me every time, and they're used to me now. So they're very gracious to let us have the space for a couple hours or so.
They're wonderful.
Yeah, so cool.
Mm.
I'll see you guys later. Got close to get back
Guys,
to
it was
you.
great. It was
All
great.
right, take care, everybody. I'm gonna
All right. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye.